in this video we're going to talk about the best gowns silhouettes for your body type. Welcome back. My name is Tiffany. So there are like a few common gown silhouettes, especially like when you're looking at bridal dresses or formal black tie dresses. And so I'm just gonna go over these silhouettes and discuss which of these silhouettes each body type can or cannot wear in theory. So the most common silhouettes in gowns are A-line silhouettes, mermaid, trumpet, the ball gown silhouette, the empire silhouette, and the sheath silhouette. So 6 rectangle. Every dress is different. Every dress has different details and elements that you can find. So whichever silhouette you choose, details and elements you should look for in a gown are like necklines that widens your shoulder, so that can be off the shoulder, sweetheart neckline, which adds volume to the bust, queen and neckline, as well as bateau neckline. So these necklines broaden the shoulders, and of course the rectangle body in theory wants to broaden the shoulders because it will help to create curves on the body. And you also want to look for elements that define the waist, so belts, nipped waist darts, etc. The best gown silhouettes that works for the rectangle body types are ball. So the ball gown usually has like a fitted bodice on the waist area, on the upper body it's usually fitted, and then it flares out from the hips to the hem of the dress, which is like usually floor length. So this silhouette creates curves on a rectangle body type. It defines the waist, making the waist appear smaller. And like I said earlier, choose dresses that has necklines that broadens the shoulder line, so that would even further add curves to the rectangle body type. So the trumpet dress will also work well on the rectangle body type. It will add volume to the lower body, and it will create the illusion of curves by hugging the upper body and then flaring out from the hip towards the hem. So the fitted upper body will have the waist look like it's defined, and then the flared out hemline of the trumpet dress will add volume to the lower body. So the A-line dress is also great for the rectangle body type. It adds volume and width to the lower body. It defines the waist with it usually has like a nipped waist, so that will like make the waist appear smaller. But like I said, remember to add those, look for dresses that has those elements that broaden the shoulder lines and that defines the waist. So look for belt, look for off the shoulder, queen and sweetheart neckline, nipped waist. The sheath gown also works well for the rectangle body type. So it's like a fitted straight cut dress, and it's often nipped at the waist without any like waist seam. So it's like a simple and easy way of creating subtle curves on the rectangle body type. So this is like a simple design for the rectangle body type, but it will still provide those elements and those features that the rectangle body in theory generally looks for. So for the inverted triangle body type, whichever gown you choose, look for elements and details that one makes the shoulders appear slimmer and more narrow than it actually is. So you can look for necklines like V-neck, scoop neck, one shoulder necklines, asymmetrical necklines. You also want to look for details that define the waist, so belts, like elevated formal friendly belt or nipped waist. And you also want to look for details that broadens the lower body, adds volume to the hip and the butt area. So you want to look for details like embellishments on the skirt of the dress, such as like lighter colors, prints that are like contrasting to a more solid and simple upper body, embellishments, beadings, extra fabrics that adds volume to the lower body. Alright, so gown silhouettes that works for the inverted triangle body type. So A-line, the silhouette of the A-line gown, it adds a volume to the lower body. It flares out gradually from the waist and or the hip, and it continues to widen as it goes to the hem of the dress, which is usually floor length if we're talking about gowns. But like I said, remember to look for elements that makes the shoulder look narrower. So like an A-line dress with a one shoulder neckline or a V neckline or a scoop neckline, you know, so that will help to narrow the broad shoulders while widening the hips. A-line gown looks great on the inverted triangle body type. It also helps to define the waist because the A-line dress usually have a nipped waist, but like I said, you can also look for A-line dresses that have like a belt attached to it, or you know, which will further help to define the waist. The ball gown also works well on the inverted triangle body type. So the silhouette of the ball gown, the bodice is fitted, so that will help to define the waist on the inverted triangle body type, and the skirting is usually wide and fluffy, so that adds the volume to the hip and lower body. Like I said, go for details that narrow the shoulder line, so that the ball gown can be perfect for the inverted triangle body type. The other gown that works well for the inverted triangle body type is the mermaid. So the mermaid usually has like a flare out at the knees, especially with this dress. This dress can be a hit or miss for the inverted triangle body depending on the other details of the dress. So like I said, the neckline, make sure the neckline narrows and slims the shoulder line. Make sure that there is a defining waist detail on the mermaid dress, but the silhouette of the mermaid dress will add volume to the lower body, so it usually flares out at the knees. And even though that is not at the hip area, it still pulls the eye downward because there's so much volume and movement at that part of the dress. So it tends to do the trick of adding volume visually, adding volume to the lower body if the inverted triangle body wears the mermaid gown. So the next body type is hourglass. So details and elements to look for the hourglass body is dresses that has like a structured fabric, so that it can help to maintain the silhouette, the natural silhouette of the hourglass body type. Make sure the waist is knit, belt, seamed, or it has like a wrapped waist, so that will help to continue to highlight the already defined waist. And go for necklines that are flattering, so like v-neck, sweetheart, Queen Anne, square necklines for the hourglass body type. So the gown silhouettes that works well for the hourglass body type is A-line, of course. So the A-line usually has like a nipped waist, and it gradually gets wider from either the waist or the hip. So this dress will continue to highlight the already curvy body, and it will accentuate the defined waist. The trumpet gown is also great. It skims over the hip area and has a wider skirting, so that's like flattering to the hourglass body, and the bodies usually like accentuates the defined waist, and the trumpet skirting adds drama and elegance to it, so you know it's nice on the hourglass body. So the sheath gown will also work well on the hourglass body. It has a form-fitting design, so it's more of like on the fitted side in terms of silhouette, and it also has those elements and details that help to support the curves on the hourglass body. So it has a nipped waist that just keep the waist defined and letting the other areas just be, which is great for the hourglass body. The mermaid silhouette is also great on the hourglass body. The bodice is usually fitted, so it helps to continue to define the waist of the hourglass body. And the mermaid hem, just like the trumpet, you know, adds drama and elegance to the lower body, adds like a beautiful movement. It's very elegant and nice on the hourglass body. And the ball gown can also work for the hourglass body. The ball gown has a fitted bodice, so it defines the waist of the hourglass body, and the skirting flares out, so that enhances the shape of the hourglass body. For the Pear body, when you're choosing gowns, choose styles that have elements that draws attention to the shoulders and the upper body, and also elements that widens the shoulder line and the upper body. Yeah, so attention grabbing details on the shoulder line, so embellishments, epaulets, like jewels and beadings on the shoulder line, necklines that widens the shoulders and highlights the bust or adds volume to the bust. So sweetheart neckline, off the shoulder, bateau neckline, square neckline. They also want to maintain the small waist, so look for styles that highlight the defined waist. Gowns that works well for the Pear body type is the A-lines. The skirt of the A-line gradually flares out, so skims nicely over the hips of the Pear body type, and the waist is usually defined as well, so that will highlight the defined waist of the Pear body type. But when you're going for an A-line dress, choose like a neckline, like a sweetheart neckline or a bateau neckline, square, or you know, an upper body that has like embellishments on it, like that type will look great on the Pear body type. The other gowns that work well on the Pear body type is the trumpet. The trumpet will also skim nicely over the wider hips of the Pear body. Like I said, for the upper body, choose styles that widens the shoulder line and brings attention to the upper body and the bust area. Mermaid also works well. It's usually in a fitted bodice, and it has like dramatic details on the lower part of the dress from the knee to the ankles. This silhouette also highlight the defined waist, but just look for styles with upper bodies that works well with the Pear body. And the ball gown can also work well for the Pear body. The bodice is fitted, so that will help to highlight the defined waist, and the full skirt of the ball gown skims over the hips, giving it like a very flattering look. But then go for a neckline and upper bodies that add volume to the upper body. So like I said earlier, the sweetheart neckline off the shoulders, embellishments on the necklines, embellishments on the shoulders. Dresses with like a shoulder pad would work well on the Pear body type. So for the apple body type, when choosing gowns, choose styles that brings attention to the shoulder line and the bust area. So stuff like sweetheart neckline and embellishments, kind of similar to the Pear body. And also look for styles that brings attention to the lower body. So we want to bring attention to the upper body and the lower body so that we can distract from the wider midsection. We also want to look for styles that help to slim the waist. Gowns that works well for the apple body type are A-line. The A-line gown gradually widens on the lower body. That adds volume on the lower body of the apple. And of course, like if you're going for like an A-line dress, look for styles that have like a sweetheart neckline or embellishments on the shoulder and the neckline. And the defined waist on the A-line silhouette will help to slim the waist of the apple body. The empire gown. So the empire gown usually has like the defined waist right below the bust, and this waistline is, I would say, is made for the apple body type. This dress will move the waist from the wider midsection right below the bust, so that would highlight the bust area, making it appear bigger. It would bring more attention to the bust area. It would direct attention away from the wider midsection. It usually has like a looser fit, so the rest of the dress will skim over the wider midsection, which will make the waist look slimmer. And the other gown that works well for the apple body type is the trumpet. So if this trumpet gown has like a structured bodice, which will help to slim the waist of the apple body, and then the trumpet skirting, which usually flares out like around the hips, will add volume to the lower body, making the hips and the butt appear wider, so bringing attention towards the lower body and away from the midsection. And like I said earlier, when you're choosing a gown, go for styles that help to widen the upper body, add volume, bring attention to the upper body as well as the lower body, so that it can distract from the midsection. So if you're looking for a bridal dress, a black tie dress, you know, kind of start with these silhouettes that are listed under your body type, and also look for those elements and details that will help to further benefit you and your specific body type. So if you want to explore further the different types of dress silhouettes, like everyday dresses, summer dresses, that works best for your body type, I have a video that's focused on the best dresses for your body type. I'll have it linked here and in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.